All right, everybody, welcome to this week's episode of the Throne Bros. We're back. It's Nando, your host, and the 3 Hour Raven.
3 Hour Raven in the building. Shout out to all the supporters, the Game of Throners, House of Dragoners, A Knight of the Seven Kingdomers. That's OD, but shout out to you guys. Appreciate the support.
Yeah, we're back. Another episode, another week. This is episode 3. Last week, obviously, we went over the first two. Obviously, that was because of our scheduling. But I'm glad you guys tuned in. And hopefully, you're enjoying it so far. Like we are. As the 3 Hour Raven said, this is the series where it's short and sweet, even the number of episodes, but also like the time limit. I was telling the 3 Hour Raven, I kind of rewatched it before this, and it just flew by, and then
It's
uh,
it's been good, man. Like
it's
I've
an
been
easy
seeing a lot.
watch. It's an easy
Yeah,
watch too.
I've been seeing a lot of good feedback. A lot of people like it.
So yeah, yeah. So this week's episode is called The Squire. So obviously, not to give the ending away, but this has to do very much with Egg. All right. So it starts off with him waking up before Duncan, and him going out and taking the horse, training the horse for his for the upcoming joust, I guess, is
Yeah,
the tournament. So
yeah,
which is pretty, it was pretty interesting because he's talking to the horse. The horse doesn't, the horse is acknowledging these things. It seems like they were making it seem, and then he, after several tries, he's the horse is listening, and then uh Egg is practicing how to hand the sword or the whatever the pointy thing is called,
yeah.
whatever. Um,
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
so yeah, that was a pretty cool.
The lance
I think so.
is something like that. Yeah,
Before he goes back to camp, he has an encounter with a knight. Um, who
yeah.
tries to accuse him of stealing a horse. Can you shed some light on this knight?
Oh yeah,
Uh,
so that is Sir Robin Riceland. So supposedly he's the maddest knight in the Seven Kingdoms, according to Egg. Now this scene right here doesn't happen in the book. They do mention Sir Robin uh, as one of the contestants in the games. But this scene, like where they run into Egg, that's not something that happens in the book. But they do mention him as a competitor.
it's probably a foreshadow. They gave the character a thing. It's
Yeah,
probably um possibly, that's what I'm thinking. I'm not trying to give anything away.
yeah,
But so he tells him, it belongs to the knight, Sir Duncan the Tall. I'm his squire, and he just says, "Never heard of him. We've never heard of him here." And then, like, obviously, since it's Egg's able to realize who he is. At first, he doesn't like know it, and then he like says his name, and he's like, "Oh, you're Sir whatever," the name that we just said. And then, yeah, after that interaction, he comes back to camp with the horse. Uh, Dunk is at camp just sitting there sewing, and kind of ask him, where'd you go? Like, kind of questioning him, and just kind of um tells him not to go anywhere without him. So he kind of gives him like a quick, like, I don't know. He tries to act like he's mad at him, I guess. Tries to be stern with him, and then they kind of start bonding. Like a lot of the beginning, like most of this episode is about them two bonding,
yeah,
as and then maybe not in the same way as like Dunk, maybe the way Dunk might have won it with his knight, who used to slap him around and stuff. This is probably, Dunk trying to act different than what Sir Pennytree did with him,
yeah,
here with Egg. So like he shows him how to brush the horses. He shows them how to like sew. They kind of go over basically all like the jobs of the squire, and together. So after this, they they get to a scene after that. They do a little bonding, the start of the bonding, where Egg is singing a song, and then Sir Dunk is throwing up. Um, and
So,
then
real quick, the song that Egg is singing, right? It's actually about his family.
yeah,
Now, he um he mentions Damon Blackfire,
yeah,
right? Which is the half brother of what's it called, of Egg's grandfather, Darren. Uh, yeah, it's Darren that's king, right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Damon Blackfire, he's like the bastard brother of Damon. Uh, so all right, so just a little family tree. So Damon from House of Dragon
Yes.
gave birth to Viserys II, right? Viserys II gave birth to Aegon IV and Aemon Targaryen, right? So Aegon IV gave birth to Darren, right, Egg's grandfather, but it's disputed that it could be Aemon's son, right? So they don't really know who the father is, right? But Aegon IV also gave birth to Daemon Blackfire, which is his original name was Daemon Waters. So he was a bastard. So Daemon, he renamed himself Daemon Blackfire, and he challenged Darren for the throne, and that created the Blackfire Rebellion. So it's
Okay.
the Targaryens against Targaryens.
A lot of infight.
Yeah,
um, yeah. So there was a lot of fighting even after the House of the Dragon.
yeah,
So that's why there wasn't many left when we got to the main series. There was only two. They ended up infighting between each other. Spoiler, and also the other people killed them. If it wasn't an infighting, they killed them. So like that's why there was only two once we got to three because um Maester Aemon was there, so he's a Targaryen, and you know what I'm saying. But
yeah.
um, this is also why not only not to get it just to talk about this, bring it up again. This is also why the secret of John's father was hidden because like at the time the Targaryens had a bad rep. Well, mainly at that time because of the Mad King. That's what caused the Robert's Rebellion and all that. But they've always, you know, kind of extinct, and you know what I mean. And they fled, they hid all that because once whatever was left was killed once the rebellion happened and they took over the throne and they got the Mad King. So just to get over that. Um so Sir Dunk is thrown up and he, as Egg is singing, you could hear him in the background. And he's like, all right, I'm ready to go. Let's go sign up for the tourney. And Egg tells him it's not his turn yet. Today's tourney has to do with highborn people. So basically any sons or whatever of these highborn kings is who's competing today.
Yeah.
Um, so they still head into town. They um, obviously Doink buys some goose eggs, which is a funny scene. He's trying to get the guy's about to kill this goose for him, but he's like, I just need goose eggs. And then he already has some salted beef, which Egg kind of made a good joke about how he doesn't like it. Um, Then he has a run in with the girl who makes the shield,
Tensa.
also which is also something Egg mentioned when he was like, and also how are you gonna battle without a shield because he hasn't had a shield yet, which is gonna be a key. So by the way, just spoiler to the end of this, their quick interaction. He offers her an egg. I think he's like, "Do you want a goose egg or something?" I don't know.
Nah,
I
he
think
said.
he
I
tries
think
to.
he, I think he asked her like, do you like goose
I
eggs?
think he tried to start a conversation, and it was
Yeah.
like the weird end. They then go to see around like the area of Ashford. They they go back to camp. They cook up these eggs and have like an egg and salt beef sandwich there. They both share it under this tree, and then they go back into Ashford to watch one of the battles, and they're all having fun together to the point where there's a funny scene after this battle where they make fun of each other, where like um Ed cracks a joke to Dunk, and Dunk kind of does like a whiny voice, kind of trying to sound like Egg, which is about the salted beef. So that was kind of like funny. Them getting in, you know, kind of going at each other a little bit, even if it was like kind of simple. Um, Anything to add there before I move on to the next scene here, or I might have skipped, but 3 hour
No,
movies always got the tidbits. But
no, you're good. It was yeah, you pretty much covered everything so far.
so then they go to them two just kind of laying on this hill that oversees like the not the town but like the area where everybody's like hanging out at, where like and Ed kind of mentions like I would love it here, or would love to be here. He means like future, or
Mm,
like, and
yeah.
Doink kind of says, well, you're already here, and then they kind of start talking about that, and he kind of goes into a you know, like a little scenario where he's like, I want to come back from like a battle and get rewarded, for being a good squire, where, I get offered somebody's second daughter or something like that. And he cracks a joke. He's like, obviously, because you would get the first daughter. He ain't talking about Sir Doink. I mean,
Mm.
Sir Duncan the Tall. Doink. Yeah. And then, and yeah, that was kind of interesting, them going him planning the future of possibly what he wants. So, like, I mean, he's already given hints at, he's one of these people who kind of didn't like the life, I guess you would say, that he was headed. Maybe he wanted to explore other things, possibly. I mean, he's still young, but who knows? And then an interesting part happens right after this. As we're sitting, the master of the games comes up and wants to talk to Duncan, Sir Duncan, and he basically propositions him. He's like, "Look, he's talking about some betting that's going on the side, and like trying to get him some money. And basically explain this to it, because I think I know what happened, but like, what's the actual proposition? Like, I feel like I understood it, but
So
I mean, it's not
basically,
that
he
hard to
just
understand.
so when it comes to the games, like you can pick your opponent. So basically, the master of the games just tells Duncan like, hey, like if you unhorse Sir Andrew or Andrew, I don't know how to forgot how to pronounce it, who's the youngest son of Lord Ashford, then he'll get rewarded, right? So I guess they just and Dunk's like, oh well, I don't want a victory that I haven't earned, right? And he's like, well, have you not earned it? That's what the master of the games told him, like,
Yeah,
So basically, he's just telling him like, "Yo, challenge him and unhorse him." Basically, so I don't think they're throwing the games, but he's just telling
they
him
think
like,
it's an
"Hey,
easy one because the
yeah,
sun's bad.
well, since he's the son of Lord Ashford, I guess a lot of people got money on him, so the odds are against whoever faces against him.
Gotcha. Yep,
So
that's where the
since
bet.
Dunk is like one of the biggest people, probably in the whole competition. That's why
So
they
they're
have him.
thinking it would be an easy win.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Basically. Yeah.
But he thinks he's not earning it by picking the the the, the weakest one, basically.
Well, he's actually a good jouster. Like in the
Is
book,
that who they see in that first battle or no? 'Cause there was somebody battling in that for when him and Egg are like spending time together. Is that who they see in that battle? Because they only show like one battle, but I'm not sure if that's who they see.
I actually didn't notice who was jousting at that time,
Okay.
so I can't confirm that.
I kind of had a question about that afterwards, like because I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then after the talk, I guess they're walking back into town because there's another joust, and you could kind of see it in Duncan's face that he's kind of like somewhat thinking about it. He's like bothered by it, so he's kind of giving it some thought. And then it turns out that in this joust, um, he has a name, and they said it, and was it um Bright Light or something like that,
For what?
or my man's name, Egg's brother.
Oh, Bright Flame.
Bright Flame.
Yeah,
He has
yeah,
a
Arian
he
Bright Flame.
has a nice helmet. That's a pretty cool helmet for like.
Yeah,
So Bright Frame is being cocky. He calls out. I forget who he calls out, but
his cousin,
oh yeah,
Valor.
his cousin Valor. But isn't that it's not who he battles though, is it?
No, no, no. So he basically, well, he goes up to his cousin and is like, "Hey, I'm not gonna embarrass you today, cousin."
Yeah.
And then he goes to the other competitor, which I don't really know who. Didn't mention who it was,
No, they didn't.
but yeah, yeah, he calls out the other guy.
So they have their little joust, and obviously my man knows he's good. He kind of shows off. He's kind of a show off, because he knows he's good, or hasn't had anybody beat him yet. You know what I mean? They do a round. He kind of ducks out the way. You know what I mean? Like he gives him the little matrix move, and kind of leans back on him. They come back around, and my man does. I mean, I guess it's allowed. I don't know the rules of jousting, but my man just kills the horse. Just stabs right in the neck
Yeah,
with the the little jousting stick. Because we don't know the name yet, and that basically causes the horse to collapse, and it collapses on the rider, and then they end up killing him because I mean he ain't got no leg no more. I mean, it's a
yeah.
broken leg. It's probably
Mhm.
back then it's gonna be hard to fix that. Um, and
So
especially
that actually caused some ruckus in the crowd. Like people weren't really happy about it. Even like Egg during when the match started,
yeah,
he wanted the other guy to win, right?
yeah. I
And
mean,
then
I think that's a brother thing. That's just
so so another name for Aryan, right? He's also known as Aryan the Monstrous. Right? That's not something they've mentioned yet in the book. I mean, in the show. But yeah. So you could just kind of tell like
I
by
mean
that nickname.
he gives us the
Yeah,
vibe like he's kind of a
yeah,
dick.
yeah,
So yeah, he falls down on it. The crowd's kind of like somewhat booing in the middle. Egg's like oh mad because like he did make a comment to Dunk. I hope he dies or kills. I hope he kills him.
yeah.
And he's talking about this Ghost Rider. Let's put it that way because we don't know his name. Taking out his brother, and his the horse. The crowd comes down. They end up. I mean, they don't actually show the action, but it's right before it cuts off. And they kill the guy. They just stab him or whatever. Egg decides he's like, I want to leave, and they leave. Um,
Oh, so according to the book, the competitor was Sir Humphrey. I don't know if he belongs to any house. It doesn't
I mean, they
explain.
know him somewhere.
Yeah, but yeah, Sir Humphrey was the guy he
I mean, they
challenged.
don't know him anymore because he's dead.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Egg decides to leave. And Duncan agrees. They kind of like have a little walk back in the rain. They're talking. I forget right now exactly what the conversation was about fully. Um,
So, all right. So what I have here, right? So they leave the games. They go grab a drink,
they do.
and they talk about the song that they were singing about
Oh,
the.
so they have a small conversation on the way to the party. They end up going to a party that what's his name is at being drunk as hell. Baratheon, my man that we talked about.
Yeah, Lionel.
Lionel is over there drunk as hell. He's wearing like the little buck crown for their house. You know what I'm saying? And he's partying. They're drunk. They're singing a song, which is kind of an interesting conversation that they had. Um, they're singing a song about some myth of or some tale of some lady because a lot of songs back then were about tales, or in olden days, I guess. If there's no time frame in this, but like talking about her fisting people in the ass. I don't know.
Yeah, she had supposedly had like three fingers or something. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
So that he's talking about is that really true? Like, and then I mean, Duncan's like, I'm not smart enough to go into detail what it means. Uh, and he's like, well, that's pretty impressive that she was able to do what she did with her
yeah,
her deficiencies or whatever. So they're at this party talking. We missed the funny scene, which is I think it happened in the beginning where Ed kind of tells Doink is like, is it weird that I'm going like basically
dunk, man. You keep saying doink.
yeah or Duncan. I'm just gonna say Duncan.
Yeah,
Duncan the Tall. When he tells him like some random thing, he's like, "Is it weird that I'm growing like black hair on my balls?"
yeah,
And then Duncan just says, I mean, I think it's weird that you're asking me about it. So that was kind of funny.
Well, I
Um,
don't know. I don't know if that was just like Egg just trying to, you know, I guess just make conversation because the Targaryens are blind. So
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know what kind of.
yeah,
We don't need to examine that, but yeah.
yeah. I mean, they leave the little party after having a drink, and then they run into like a truth teller, tarot reader, whatever, psychic or whatever. She tells Dunk
So
like,
before that, right? Like while they're walking, uh, Duncan asked Egg if he knew his father,
yeah,
and Egg says, "Nah." Like, I mean, I don't know how close he is to his dad,
yeah,
but he basically said nah. And then
yeah,
Duncan speaks of his father,
yeah.
but yeah, and then they run into the fortune teller.
So the fortune teller gives Duncan his thing, and then he gives Egg his thing, and basically tells Egg that he's gonna be a king, but he's not gonna be like a loved. He's gonna be like like some of these Targaryens we've heard of they got that bad wrath or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Kind of
Yeah.
like his brother, I guess you
Mm-hmm.
would say. So, which shocks him because he's like, well, he tries to play it off because obviously Duncan's like, what do you mean? Like he's kind of confused. Like, well, that's a weird like thing. Like, why would she say like,
Well, like Dunk, like the fortune teller tells Dunk that he's gonna be successful and he's gonna be richer than a Lannister.
yeah,
So that's why I think he kind of like brushed off what she said to Egg, because it was like, man, I'm from Flea Bottom, like I ain't about to be richer than Lannister, like so. So he just basically like tells Egg like, hey, like, yeah, it's just a fortune teller, man.
yeah, she's bullshitting. Is all
Yeah,
whatever. So then they kind of laugh it off, continue to walk. They run into my man, that was the squire that he made friends with,
Raymond.
uh, Raymond. And they go hang out. Egg is next scene at one of the shows. They're putting on a show. Whoa, Duncan goes with the guy and they're talking. Was there anything important in their conversation?
So what's it called? Raymond asked if he's chosen an opponent yet for the battle,
Okay.
and he brings up Sir Andrew, like kind of trying to get his opinion like
Yeah.
about it. Like, yo, yeah, we're kind of matched, don't you think? Like, So he's thinking about challenging him, and then he brings up the you know, what's it called, Aryan, and how
Yeah.
he like killed the horse, and he tells him like, hey, like my squire thinks it was on purpose, like he
Yeah.
was doing it because he's a dickhead, whatever. And Raymond like kind of goes off on a rant. It's like, yeah, man, like the Targaryens, they stole our lands, this and that, like. So basically, they don't really like the Targaryens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of like the little conversation that they
So,
had.
so while they're having this conversation, Eggs at another one of those talent shows being thrown by our girl over there. And this
Sansa.
yeah, and this story is about a Targaryen story. So like literally there's a dragon breathing out fire and then it gets sliced, all right? And then there's like blood or whatever. I mean, not
Yeah,
really.
yeah, yeah, like
It's
yeah,
like glitter. But
yeah. I think it's like confetti or something. Yeah,
this pisses off our man. Um
yeah. So Aryan walks in and he's just kind of staring there, like, and everybody just kind of stops,
yeah,
like,
cuz they know. The actors don't know that he just walked in, but they're gonna keep going on with their play, and the crowd knows he walked in, and they're just like, okay, well, this is about his family.
yeah.
Um, so obviously, when they noticed, she is shocked, and then obviously we know what's coming. He's mad, he doesn't like it. Um, Egg runs to get Duncan to
So
tell him.
before that, it switches back to Duncan and Raymond, right? And they start talking about how Makar left Ashford looking for his kids, and
Oh yeah, it's
yeah,
this part. because he
And
starts naming the kids, and then right
yeah.
and the small one, and it feels like he was about to say his name,
Mhm.
and then Egg walks in and interrupts, and he's like, "You got to come to the play." Like, what
And also, he also mentions Aemon. He says like, "Oh yeah, he has another son that's useless. They sent him to
to
the
become a maester?
the Citadel." Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So Aemon Targaryen. So Maester Aemon gets mentioned again. So then Ed comes in telling him he's gotta go. There's some trouble over there. Um, as Duncan walks into the tent, the guards or whatever are snapping her finger, and I mean not Egg, Duncan jumps in and like punches them. Does he actually punch the brother?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
starts whooping his ass.
Starts whooping his ass. So like he kind of tells him, and he's like, after like his guards take him off him, he's like, "You really threw away your life for a whore." Um, and basically, the guards got him, and basically everybody knows he's dying because he touched a Targaryen. Nobody touches the Targaryen and lives. Uh,
Yeah.
because they got the power and everything.
Mhm.
So as the two guards have him, Egg walks in and he's telling them to stop. Uh, which Duncan's like, "Boy, shut up! Like you're gonna get yourself in trouble. Like let them do what they do." Which he replies is that they're not gonna get in trouble. I mean, I'm not gonna get in trouble. They are, because they're gonna have to basically answer to my father. And
Yeah.
then Duncan's kind of turning around, like because he's able to like look. And then he has some words where basically his brother calls him a brat or whatever, and then you could see the look of shock in Sir Duncan's face of like of you lied to me, which is like, I don't want to say it's like a perfect ending to the episode, but it's basically like they spend this whole episode bonding, and they even had, like you said, talked about the dad, and then they, now the prediction kind of makes sense, where that's probably all rushing into his head, but mainly it was him probably feeling betrayed, like, hey, you never told me any of this, you were lying to me. So I mean, I think I would think it was very well done. Not that we've ever gotten into the quality of like the episodes, but this was very well done, especially with the build up. Like you you get into this bond with them, and then at the end it's just like the shocking news that we had already kind of spoiled, but like, you know, um,
Yeah. So for anyone that was wondering, Egg is Aegon the fifth. Aegon Targaryen the fifth.
yeah. So, and does he end up being like somewhat a mad king, like the prediction says?
Egg?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
nah. He So well, they call them the unlikely. Like he
Okay.
wasn't like a bad
Supposed to
king.
be.
He just uh
I mean, he was technically last in line. He wasn't supposed to be the king. So unlikely kind of
yeah,
fits there, but
yeah.
he didn't act
Well,
like a king, I guess you would say. I guess probably that's also why they call him that.
yeah, well, some things happen to, his brothers,
Yeah.
and basically leads him to being king. But uh yeah, it's not that he's a like a bad king. I just think he just you know, he didn't really he didn't really do anything that made him like great, I guess you could say. Cuz
Nothing
you know,
nothing noteworthy during his term.
yeah, pretty much, pretty much.
So I mean,
Yeah. So, yeah, yeah, cuz I mean, you could tell like from the episodes uh
yeah.
that he he's a good kid, right? Like he's learning, like he knows all the all the nights. He's being compassionate to people
He's
and
trying to
whatnot.
escape the. It seems like he's trying to escape the not misconception, but like the preconceived notions of the family name. Yeah, I mean, so he's trying to
Yeah,
like he escaped because maybe he didn't want to be part of it. Maybe he wanted to get out there and meet regular people instead of being in his castle like locked up or whatever. You know what I mean? Well, not locked up, but like
yeah.
what I'm saying,
Mhm.
where being unknown, where people could just treat him normal. You know what I mean? Instead of like my lord and my prince, like whatever it is. So like I mean that's pretty smart for his age. I mean, how old is he in this? Did we ever go over this?
No, so supposedly I saw something online. I don't know how true it is. Supposedly Duncan is 16.
Damn,
Eh, Yeah, yeah. And Egg is like, uh, damn, I forget how
like
old
10 or something.
they said. Yeah, somewhere
It's
around there,
gotta
like
be
a
somewhat,
few
yeah,
years younger. Yeah,
9 or 10. That's what I was thinking. It's like 9 or 10. At 16, this man looks like a grown ass man. I mean,
that's
it's
what
the
they.
tallness, but still, like, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess it would make sense because he does have a long. Oh,
Yeah, so they're 7 years apart. So if Duncan is 16, then
he's
Egg
like
would be
9.
9.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So there you go. I mean, I liked it. I'm gonna continue. We're gonna continue doing it. This is our thing. This one's gonna be short. Not it, like I said, not just the episodes, but the number of episodes for this season, which I believe it's 6. So we're like halfway there. Um, so
yeah.
it's a short one, time wise, and it's a short one. Yeah, it's 6. So this will be done by the end of this month. We just started February. So like there is 3 more episodes. We just hit the halfway point, and then we'll get the House of Dragon in the summer. Not to get ahead of ourselves, but because we're gonna enjoy this. Like I said,
I feel like the last episode might be longer. They
it
might
could
make
be.
it like they might extend it
Yeah, I
because I
mean,
mean something big happens. So yeah, I think they might like just extend it instead of the 30 minutes. They might make it a little bit longer.
look forward to that.
Okay.
That might happen. But lately they've keeping us on our toes because we thought something was gonna happen, this last season of House of the Dragon. And
Yeah,
they let us hanging. So now we
yeah.
got something to look forward to after,
Mhm.
a whole 2 years, I guess you would
Well,
say.
yeah, like I mentioned in the previous episode, there's 3 books, right? And they're not long books, so if they try to like stretch, the story out, like they're already adding things into the story that didn't happen in the book, so they might try to stretch it.
Yep. I mean, yeah, they might. So we know, and then we know, not to get ahead, we know we're getting season 3 sometime in the summer. Hasn't been confirmed yet. And then they've confirmed a 4th season. Spoiler, just so everybody knows. And this has been confirmed for a 2nd season. Since this is shorter, this will be back next year. There won't be a 2-year wait. But I mean, we'll bring out the content. We're coming up with new things to talk about. So um, not to to put some out there between that year between and all that between these shows. But we like it. Bring them on. Bring on the rumors. I think that there's always been like rumors because I think people just um for other spinoffs. I mean, there's always been talks. There's always a rumor about spinoffs. So I mean, we'll see. I mean, none of it is true until it starts,
Yeah,
but we'll see. I mean, a lot of things have been cut. Some of ideas that have been out there, but I mean, we hope they squeeze all they can out of this because we'll be here and we want you guys to be here too. So for it, so along for the ride here. But I mean, fellow Westerosians. I mean, this is all we got this week. Tune in next week. Come back, review another episode. And we'll keep going on this journey with Duncan and Egg. 3 Hour Raven.
Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Next week, I don't think it's gonna be like a crazy episode, you know, but it's gonna
I think
lead up to
I think
the
next week will
events.
be a lot of questions. Is Duncan asking the Egg some
Yeah,
questions and trying to find some answers, possibly.
yeah,
So I mean, and them dealing with that situation where they got to stop him from getting killed or whatever was going to happen. So I'm sure that's what it'll be next week.
yeah.
So, but we look forward to it. See how this develops.
Yep.
So, I mean, until next week, you know,
I'll watch it ending.
Peace.